All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bear Sheath Farm with your host, Levite Khan. Get my trusty hat on. And today we are doing Numbers chapters 11 through 15. And then after that, I'm going to give out a whole bunch of info. Get things ready here. Okay, we're looking good. That being said, it's different subjects, stuff that, I want to make people aware of. If some of you I'm preaching to the choir, that's good because I can know that people are doing their own homework as well. I'll be playing a few videos and that's a couple of them for comedy, just to lessen the tension. And give me a second here. Oof. It is very humid. I'm fine with that for the most part. I just have to get this here going. Yeah, hold on, folks. I'll put the fan a little bit towards my way. I do have it facing up, but okay. Better, I hope. Okay, hopefully that'll be a little bit better. So let me my reading glasses back on. Welcome and shalom to Gangster Talks Gangster Talks podcast. All right. Okay, hold on. If you object, like a couple of guys did, I took their moderator thing away because they insisted that I do. If you insisted I take it away, just let me know. They're gangster, and I'll give you the same courtesy. But for now, I guess I'll just make you a moderator. And the reason why, I don't care if somebody's even differing with me. I don't care if they're actually silly stupid about it, as long as they don't get vulgar. I mean, if something gets really way out of hand, time them out or just delete their comments. If they get really start putting out personal info and stuff like that, definitely, what do you call it? Block them then. I don't need people doing that. I've had it done to me in the past and there's no need for that. Okay. But rather than ramble on, now the other moderators, if they will hit here later, they can go back and hear that and to be refreshed. And those who heard it, now they know, they've been, kind of updated. Anyway, let's get this going with the Midbar, or Numbers in English, chapter 11. And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord. And the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses. Ooh. And when Moses prayed unto the Lord, the fire was quenched. And he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burnt among them. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a-lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again, and said, Who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes. And the manna was coriander seed, and the color thereof as the color of bdellium. And the people went about and gathered it and ground it in mills, or beat it in a mortar, and baked it in pans, and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. Moses also was displeased. And Moses said unto the Lord, Wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant, and wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me? Have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me, Carry them in my bosom? As a nursing father beareth the suckling child, unto the land which thou swarest unto their fathers, whence should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. Oh, this, okay. Anyway, I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand, if I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness. And the Lord said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the Spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. Yeah, good teamwork, right? All right, verse 18. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh, for ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you flesh, and ye shall eat. You shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, until it come out at your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto you, because that ye have despised the Lord which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people among whom I am are 600,000 footmen, and thou hast said, I will give them flesh that they may eat a whole month. Shall the flocks and the herds be slain for them to suffice them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to suffice them? And the Lord said unto Moses, is the Lord's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not. And Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Lord came down in a cloud, and spake unto him, and took of the Spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the Spirit rested upon them, they prophesied, and did not cease. But there remained 2 of the men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but went not out unto the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp. And there ran a young man and told Moses, and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, my lord Moses, forbid them. And Moses said unto them, enviest thou for my sake? Would God that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his Spirit upon them. And Moses gat him into the camp, he and the elders of Israel. Okay, before I continue on to verse 31, Moses had his problems, and he would get just fatigued, tired. At the same time, he was a very humble man, and he, somebody who writes it about himself must be humble, right? Because that'll be coming up here. So anyway, but the more you can work as a team and be evenly yoked, ladies and gentlemen, the better it will go with Elohim. Welcome and shalom to Craig Hayden. How you doing, buddy? All right, verse 31. And there went forth a wind from the Lord, and brought quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp, as it were a day's journey on this side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side round about the camp, as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. And the people stood up all that day and all that night, and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. And he called the name of that place Kibroth. Kibroth Hattaavah, pronounce it as you will, Hattaavah, because there they buried the people that lusted. And the people journeyed from Kibroth Hattaavah unto Hazeroth, and abode at Hazeroth. And that's all 35 verses of Numbers chapter 11. Let's keep this rocking, shall we? Rocking and rolling. Chapter 12. I love this chapter. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and said unto Aaron and unto Miriam, come ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I the Lord will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all his house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received again. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days. And the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. All right, that's all 16 verses of chapter 12 of Numbers. Welcome and shalom to Daniel 6R6. How you doing? Let me know, Daniel, are you a different Daniel, or are you the Daniel from Burning Bush's channel? I really don't know. Because some people use different insignias when they're in different places. I was always assuming, makes an ass out of me anyway, if you're not that Daniel, I guess, and I'll just have to admit to it. Just let me know. That's why I was teasing you a little bit yesterday. I thought you were him. Maybe you are. Anyway, I'll look down and see what you typed in. Let's go to chapter 13 of Numbers. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, send thou men that they may search the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall ye send a man, every one a ruler among them. And Moses, by the commandment of the Lord, sent them from the wilderness of Paran. All those men were heads of the children of Israel. And these were their names: of the tribe of Reuben, Shamuel, the son of Zachar; of the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, the son of Hori; of the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh; of the tribe of Issachar, Igal, the son of Joseph; of the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Nun; of the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu; of the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, the son of Sodai; of the tribe of Joseph, namely, of the tribe of Manasseh, Gadai, the son of Suzai; of the tribe of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gamaliel; of the tribe of Asher, Sether, the son of Michael; of the tribe of Naphtali, Nabai, the son of Vaphsai; of the tribe of Gad, Geuel, the son of Machai. These are the names of the men which Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Jehoshua. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said unto them, get you up this way southward, and go up into the mountain, and see the land what it is, and the people that dwelleth therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many. And what the land is that they dwell in, whether it be good or bad, and what cities they be that dwell in, whether in tents or in strongholds. And what the land is, whether it be fat or lean, whether there be wood therein or not. And be ye of good courage, and bring of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the time of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin unto Rahab, as men come to Hamath. And they ascended by the south and came unto Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, were. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. The place was called the brook Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes, which the children of Israel cut down from thence. And they returned from searching the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron, and to all the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the wilderness of Paran, to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, We come unto the land whither thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, We be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of a great stature. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. All 33 verses of Numbers chapter 12. Hold on. Oh, okay, you're a different one. Yeah, no, it's starting to come to mind though, Daniel. Okay, I like the other Daniel. We have disagreements, but my wife informed me because she keeps track of that Facebook stuff. I don't really. There's evidently 5 or 6 of you Daniels on our friends list, and what can I say? There's Daniels, there's Bruce's, there's Roberts. Oh man, how many Levite Collins are there? Hopefully only one. But to go over this a little bit, with Miriam and Aharon, right? Mary and Aaron, they were big hitters and they screwed up. Miriam had to sit out of the camp for 7 days to learn her lesson, and they were good Louisville sluggers. I mean, they were prophets and stuff. One, the priest of Aharon, Aaron himself, where that Levitical line comes from, evidently that I do. And then, of course, you got all these people, and I don't know how big those giants were. You can't really go by pictures that are drawn by artists. They make it look. Oh, you're not on Facebook? You're a smart man. But, they had to be a pretty huge people to be looking pretty small. And they'd already seen all these miracles right in front of them, done for them, and they were still being dubious about things and that. So just, what can you say? I mean, it is what it is. I don't want to judge them too harshly. Maybe I would have been as bad. I have my moments of doubt, and I'd like to excuse myself, but I don't think I'm better. So, okay. Anyway, let's go on to Numbers chapter 14. That's a few more verses. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And before going to verse 2, this is where the father, Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, blessed be his name, has about had it with this generation. Over 20 years old. Okay? Verse 2, and all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, and the whole congregation said unto them, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. Two faithful ones. Those are the two exceptions that get to go into the land of Canaan and convert it to Israel. Because even Moshe doesn't get to do it. Anyway, verse 7. And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. And the Lord, if the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with them. Fear them not. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones, and the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me for all the signs which I have showed among them? I will smite them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation and mightier than they. And Moses said unto the Lord, then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land, for they have heard that thou, Lord, art among this people, that thou, Lord, art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by daytime in a pillar of a cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of thee will speak, saying, because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them, therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, the Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people, according unto the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven this people, which Egypt, even this people from Egypt, even until now. Ow. Oh. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice. Surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoked me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and hath followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow turn you and get you into the wilderness by way of the Red Sea. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation which murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land, concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Doubtless You shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. I already read that. Oh, duh. Sorry. Verse 31. But your little ones, which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised. But as for you, your carcasses, they shall fall in this wilderness, and your children shall wander in the wilderness 40 years and bear your whoredoms until your carcasses be wasted in the wilderness. After the number of the days in which ye searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and you shall know my breach. Oh, a promise. Man, I itch. Oh, give me a minute, folks. Oh. Anyway, verse 35. I, the Lord, have said, I will surely do it unto all this evil congregation that are gathered together against me in this wilderness. They shall be consumed, and there they shall die. And the men which Moses sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up a slander upon the land, even those men that did bring up the evil report among the land died by the plague before the Lord. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Moses told these things unto all the children of Israel, and the people murmured greatly. And they rose up early in the morning and gat them up into the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we be here, and will go up unto the place which the Lord hath promised, for we have sinned. And Moses said, Wherefore now do ye transgress the commandment of the Lord? But it shall not prosper. Go not up, for the Lord is not among you, that ye be not smitten before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and ye shall fall by the sword, because ye are turned away from the Lord. Therefore the Lord will not be with you. But they presumed to go up unto the hilltop. Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of the Lord and Moses departed not out of the camp. Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in that hill, and smote them, and discomfited them, even unto Hormah. All right, that's all 45 verses of Numbers chapter 14. All right. Welcome and shalom to Haas. How you doing, buddy? All right. Oh, anyway, people just don't really learn very fast. We as the human race can be pretty stupid. That includes me. Let me check something here before I read the last chapter for the night and then get on to other things. Okay. Anyway, okay, let's do Numbers chapter 15. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land of your habitations, which I give unto you, and will make an offering by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering or a sacrifice in performing a vow, or in a freewill offering, or in your solemn feasts, to make a sweet savor unto the Lord of the herd or of the flock, then shall he that offereth his offering unto the Lord bring a meat offering of a 10th deal of flour mingled with the 4th part of an hin of oil. Add the 4th part of an hin of wine for a drink offering shalt thou prepare with the burnt offering or sacrifice for one lamb. Or for a ram thou shalt prepare for a meat offering 2/10 deals of flour mingled with the 3rd part of an hin of oil. And for a drink offering thou shalt offer the 3rd part of an hin of wine for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And when thou preparest a bullock for a burnt offering, or for a burnt sacrifice in performing a vow, or peace offerings unto the Lord, then shall he bring with the bullock a meat offering of 3/10 deals of flour mingled with half an hin of oil. And thou shalt bring for a drink offering half an hin of wine for an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. Thus shall it be done for one bullock or for one ram, or for a lamb, or a kid, according to the number that ye shall prepare, so shall ye do to everyone according to their number. All that are born of the country shall do these things after this manner, in offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord, as ye do, so he shall do. Okay, before I continue, this backs up a lot of, pretty much what I'm saying. See that, the people that were sojourners, strangers, whatever, and they are adopted into it, not actually one of the aborigines of the 12 tribes, folks. They were welcome to serve God with the contract, the covenant. Same consequences, good or bad, to obedience and disobedience. All right. And it'll continue to emphasize it here. Verse 15. What ordinance shall be both for you of the congregation, and also for the stranger that sojourneth with you, an ordinance forever in your generations, as ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Lord. One law and one manner shall be for you, and for the stranger that sojourneth with you. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land whither I bring you, then it shall be that, when ye eat of the bread of the land, ye shall offer up and heave offering unto the Lord. Ye shall offer up a cake of the first of your dough for an heave offering, as ye do the heave offering of the threshing floor, so shall ye heave it. Of the first of your dough ye shall give unto the Lord an heave offering in your generations. And if ye have erred and not observed all these commandments which the Lord hath spoken unto Moses, even all that the Lord hath commanded you by the hand of Moses, from the day that the Lord commanded Moses, and henceforward among your generations, then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor unto the Lord, with his meat offering and his drink offering, according to the manner, as one kid of the goats for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it is ignorance. And they shall bring their offering, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord, and their sin offering before the Lord for their ignorance. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger that sojourneth among them, seeing all the people were in ignorance. It continues to emphasize people outside of the 12 tribes, folks. And before we go on to verse 27, welcome and shalom to Carolyn Gannon. Okay. All right. Verse 27. And if any soul sin through ignorance, then he shall bring a she-goat of the first year for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before the Lord, to make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. Here we go again, folks. Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them. But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. Because he hath despised the word of the Lord, and hath broken his commandment, that soul shall utterly be cut off, his iniquity shall be upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. And they put him inward, because it was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, The man shall be surely put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones, and he died, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. Okay, these are tzitzits, folks. I probably should be using my ISR Bible, but King James is fine. I have no problem with it. Verse 39, and it shall be unto you for a fringe that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. And that's all 41 verses of Numbers chapter 15. Things are re-emphasized. People need to hear them again and again and again. Israelites and the strangers that sojourned with them. And, of course, the tzitzits. I don't have any on me right now. I used to wear them a lot. Oh, hey, welcome and shalom to Wilfred Witzke. I used to wear them a lot. But that's another reminder, folks, just so you know. Anyway. That being said, okay, I'm looking. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, ladies and gentlemen. You all know this. That being said, how do I say this? It's impossible to keep up with everything, but as much as you can get to know, the better off you are. And just so you're aware of things, that's a good thing right there. Be not ignorant, especially don't be willingly ignorant, which is kind of a repeat, a redundant thing. But again, we need that. There's a disease going around, and it's spread through fecal matter. Now, that being said, it's called cyclospora outbreak. It's just called cyclospora, but I mean it's an outbreak, and what it comes down to, and it's evidently going around here in the United States. I mean, we're becoming like a third world nation, and it's really sad. I have some things here. Let me get this for you. I'll share this. Big heat dome this week. Oh, yeah. I think this is it. Yep. Now, comes from the UC Health Today. What to know about the cyclospora outbreak and contaminated produce and little fecal matter. I mean, it can be as small as where you can't even see it with your naked eye. In some cases, they may even, they catch it a lot, but in some cases, they may, they miss it with a microscope. Now, I suppose that could be a legitimate concern, but I really don't think these people are concerned at all. That's just my opinion. And these are outbreaks that, of course, were prophesied by the great man himself, William Henry Gates III, whom I finally called Billy Ball. Let's go over this a little bit. Foodborne illnesses increase during the summer because people eat more fresh produce. Here's how to protect yourself during the current Clyospora outbreak. All right. The author or, the journalist who wrote this is, and I don't know if it was actually written yesterday or typed or whatever, but Katie Kerwin McCrimmon. Hey, a parasite called cyclospora is causing thousands of cases of explosive diarrhea. Oh, that's so wonderful. Across the U.S. this summer. And while it's horrible to be sick with cyclosporiasis, as the illness from Clyospora is called, medical experts say it's typical for foodborne illnesses to increase during the summer months. That's because many outbreaks of foodborne illnesses have come from contaminated produce. In the case of the cyclospora parasite, Federal health officials suspect that contaminated iceberg lettuce might be the source of the illnesses, but investigators are still exploring causes. And federal investigators have linked past outbreaks of food-borne illnesses to other types of produce, including spinach, onions, and cantaloupe. Most people have never heard of cyclospora, and while the number of cyclosporiasis cases is setting records in some parts of the United States this year, especially Michigan, Ohio, and New York, go figure. Other states, including Colorado, are seeing a typical number of cyclospora cases, just a couple hundred so far. Why are foodborne illnesses like cyclosporiasis more common in the summer? Infectious diseases, experts say foodborne illnesses are as common in the summer months as respiratory illnesses like flu and COVID-19 are in the winter. That's because people tend to eat fresh produce that comes from outdoor sources where pathogens like cyclospora can contaminate fruits and vegetables. People also tend to eat raw produce rather than cooking it. That means it's vital to wash fruits and vegetables to avoid pathogens that can make us sick. To help you make sense of the news about cyclospora and other foodborne illnesses, we spoke with Lauren Bryan, infection program manager at UC Health Yampa Valley Medical Center. And it continues on. You want to read it on your own, finish it and read it on your own time. Go back to my video when it, after I'm pre-recorded, what to know about the cyclospora outbreak and contaminated produce. And, because there's many of these, folks, just so you know. All right. Let me get rid of this. Okay. All righty. Might have to run. Okay, just don't get out of breath. But thanks for stopping by there, Wilfred. Anyway, okay, I got you. Well, that article really wasn't, because I read it earlier for that matter. Deb and I, and we are careful. We tend to think we know what we're doing. I've told you in the past, we don't buy any eggs nor salads from stores anymore. And when we have a salad for a day or even 2 days in a row, along with whatever else we eat with our meals, we go right outside and we pick it. Plantains and stuff, wide plantains, curly plantains, narrow plantains, whatever. Deb has that stuff down better than I do. That's kind of her thing. Dandelion plants or weeds, or the greens, and etc. In fact, lately, less than a month ago, we were able to get some carrots and stuff and whatever out of our garden already. But that being said, folks, Deb does a very good job of thoroughly washing that stuff too in the sink. Just so you know, we don't just pick it out. We pick it out and put it in a bowl, a dog bowl that we don't use. We don't put dog food in or nothing. And then we have another bowl, and Deb, I should say, does this. I really don't. I just help pick it. But she picks it. We pick it. She takes it from that bowl and washes it off and puts it into another separate bowl from our kitchen, from our cupboards. And of course, our eggs, we've said many times, I'm not going to buy lab-made eggs, nor even eggs that were hatched or we're laying, I should say. We're laying, and but they might have mRNA in them. Yeah, I did. Well, I'll explain it later to her. So what's that other article? Messianic Rabbi, he's Yitzhak Shapira. He's going to be careful of. I'm not going to show anything from BitChute. Oh, here. Okay. You can't trust people that are chefs necessarily. I'm sure there's some very good chefs and cooks out there in restaurants. Don't get me wrong. But this is an article from Fox News. Let me get it up here for you, and I can read it, at least some of it. All right. This comes from July 23rd of this year. The journalist's name is Teresa Mull, and it reads, Michelin-starred chef facing jail after allegedly serving nearly 50,000 ants to diners. Prosecutors say restaurant served thousands of ants containing dangerous levels of heavy metals, leaving its owner facing jail time. Yummy. Bill Gates should be proud. Anyway, the owner of a Michelin-starred restaurant in South Korea is facing up to a year in jail and a fine of roughly $13,510 after the eatery allegedly served ants atop its sorbets. The proprietor of the Seoul restaurant, not identified in court documents, acknowledged serving ants, which are not among the insect species approved for human consumption under South Korea's Food Sanitation Act. The law approves 10 other insect species for human consumption, but not ants, the BBC reported. The country's Ministry of Food and Drug Safety discovered the violation through customers' social media posts and online reviews mentioning ants, according to reports. Ugh, good Lord. Grasshoppers, mealworms, silkworm pupae, locusts, and two-spotted crickets are among the insects the government has approved as food based on health and nutrition criteria. Hold on, folks. Get over here. Go lay down. You leave her alone. All right. So some of this stuff is approved in the Bible. You look in Leviticus 11, which we've read. We'll be getting eventually here to Deuteronomy chapter 14. It's a rehash of it. You know, it's basically to the next generation. Grasshoppers are fine in that. I will not do worms. Types of locusts in that. Some crickets are fine, according to the Torah. But let's continue. Prosecutors allege the ants served at the restaurant contained heavy metal levels up to 55 times the maximum limit allowed for other edible insects. They accused the restaurant of importing dried ants and using approximately 49,000 of them in dishes since 2021. Defense attorneys disputed that figure, according to the Colson Daily. Ants were offered as an optional garnish for the sorbet. The restaurant owner's defense argued, and only 60% of diners chose them over other options, including fermented vinegar and edible flowers, the South Korean newspaper reported. I'm not going to sign up for this. The court is expected to render a verdict in September. Globally, the edible insect market is expanding, as Fox News Digital previously reported, and so on and so forth. Man, that's just so creepy. It gives me goosebumps, I think. Well, okay. Look, again, folks, this is what it is by Teresa Mull of Fox News. Okay. Just look at this title. You can look it up. And, of course, there's more than one source. Okay, as you see. New York Post, I kind of like them. Fox News, even though I unsubbed every channel I could after they fired Tucker Carlson, I'll still, like I said, watch every now and then something of them. But, you know, and some of the journalists do a decent job. So that being said, let's continue. And I've got more stuff. Another cyclospora outbreak not linked to lettuce. Let's look at the Hill shall we? And then we'll get to the videos, I think, after this. Let me put this up for you folks so you can look it up if you so choose. Alrighty. I can take or leave the hill. They seem to be fairly objective. Get out of there. Okay. With that being said, folks, I don't, sometimes I watch your YouTube channel too. I don't think I'm sub to it, but anyway, another cyclospora outbreak not linked to lettuce under investigation by the FDA. I'm not going to play the whole thing. You can listen to that in the article if you don't really want to read it on your own time. I'll read some of it. Next star, a new outbreak of cyclospora, the parasite capable of giving you explosive diarrhea that has not been linked to the previously recalled lettuce, is now under investigation by the United States Food and Drug Administration. The latest outbreak, with 72 cases connected to it, was added to the FDA's list of ongoing investigations on Wednesday. Don't you love it when they just do ongoing investigations? Oh, jeez. The cause has not been identified, though the Food and Drug Administration notes it is conducting trace back efforts. Nearly 1.6 million eggs recalled over salmonella concerns. Full list of products impacted. In other words, folks, again, you can read it or listen to it. All these outbreaks, just like Bill Gates predicted. Man, is he what a prophet, isn't he? Oh, I'm just so impressed. Okay, bad joke. Let's get rid of that link. I'm just glad that Deb and I are at least, because we really had it going on in the state of Florida before we got hijacked. But even though this has been a learning curve and we're not nearly as prepared in a physical sense, Elohim has seen fit to where we can eat our own salads right here on the property. And we have chickens and soon to little bitty hens, which in the next few months will also be laying more eggs, and so on. Yeah, I know he is, Wilfred. But before I start doing a few videos here, just to give you a very simple version of Kabbalah. That's how you say it in Hebrew. In English, it's Kabbalah. Simply put, because there's a lot of levels, and it is very evil. It's demonic. It's wicked. But a simple of it is acknowledging and holding two ancient traditions, and they're giving you secrets to the Torah. Yah will give me secrets to the Torah or give me revelations of it when he sees fit and I'm ready for it. I know it pretty well for human standards, but there's always more to learn. And I don't think I'm omniscient with the Torah by any stretch. I don't need the Kabbalah. Okay. That's a lot of what my Jewish counterparts, the extreme ultra-Orthodox Jews, are using too, by the way. And it's also Talmud with the 7 Noahide laws that look good on the surface, even on a practical manner, though I have Exodus 20 and Deuteronomy 5. All the sub-laws and stuff, probably over 100. And it's all intermixed and intertwined, and it's very powerful. So that being said, I think we can get to some videos here, both for education and for some entertainment, some humor. More on AOC, go figure. Anyway, let's do a long one first, and I will put out, of course, as you know, all the YouTube links. I'll be putting them out. My wife notified me of this. Now, I do recommend you to go ahead and sub to this gentleman here, Full Spectrum Survival. And this video here, and I'll play it, is 11 minutes and 27 seconds long. He's way more viral A lot bigger of a channel. He has over 385,000 subbers, but he knows his stuff, folks. Okay, just so you know. But let's get this shared here. Give me a second. We'll play this. Yep. Here we go. Knock yourselves out. Enjoy.
All right, let's figure this out together. Donald Trump just addressed the nation of the United States of America, and he told us not to fight the information centers that are being built across the USA. He said that we and communities across our country are practically begging for them, and it's simple infrastructure that's designed to keep our cars working better, our phones, our homes, and our cities running faster. But I didn't see a problem. When you have arthritis or you have a broken bone, you can usually tell. I've broken my bones before, and I know that when something inside of me needs fixing, well, you can really tell that it needs to be fixed. The only thing that is wrong with this country right now is corporate takeovers of private everything, and the idea that there is nothing that anyone can do about it. We're in the beginning stages. We're not even in the middle yet of tokenization and privatization of every single resource across the planet. The molecules that you breathe, they're a resource.
Hi, I'm JT. I made Result Hunter, the search engine for conservatives. Let me just tell you what it does. First of all, big tech right now is run by a bunch of elitist people who all happen to vote the same way and who all happen to live in huge cities on the West Coast. And so Result Hunter takes those elitist values and elitist sources and kind of pushes them down a little bit in the search engine. Meanwhile, it takes those sources of truth that we believe have been deranked a little bit by Google, and it pushes those up a bit. And the main thing that you'll gain from using the search engine is that your ad revenue that you generate by going all over the web will be much more likely to support conservatives and things that support conservative values rather than things that support elitist and liberal cultural values. So thank you. Please use resulthunter.com if you're a conservative. Hit try now to go over there, and it'll become your default when you hit add to browser and follow the instructions. See you at resulthunter.com.
The air that you need, the safe and clean air, it's a resource. It can be tokenized. It can be taxed. The water that you will die without, if you don't get enough of the new stuff within 3 days, can be tokenized by taking over access to it, by privatizing it, processing it, distributing it. And 87% of our country's available resource at the same time is being taken over, making having a private well a security threat. If you have an oak tree in your lawn, it's an asset. You're going to be taxed 200% to live in a free country and given a 5% credit carbon back to keep the tree. It's privatization by proxy. You drive on a road, it's taxable tokenization based on the miles that you drive. How many screens they can smash into a four-person household. It's a token that can be bought and sold by technocratic asset class. Power companies tell you 1 minute that your prices are going up while they're lying to you, saying that you're not the one subsidizing their growth for future profit. And then the government pretends to be on your side, saying that the power companies are going to have to find another way. This is what Donald Trump just told them. You're going to have to find another way so that the people are not subsidizing your growth. Now, this is two-part. First part is an admission of guilt. They really are charging you money up front to make money off of you on the back end. And number two, it's a false promise that we have seen played out in the minds of the American people through politics for generations. These are all lies that are designed to keep the American people paying for the handcuff and no key system that has a single motivation and a single purpose. And this purpose is to keep you isolated, broken, broke by finances, confused, and tired. You think it's an accident or just corporate craft that all these city leaders signed non-disclosure agreements about these information centers before bringing any of the actual information into the public space? No, it's not, of course. It's because it's binding legality of a non-disclosure agreement allows private and government sectors to omit information or face multi-billion-dollar lawsuits for for telling the truth. So the idea is that if we tokenize everything, and then we get rid of the farmers while removing natural food from the supply chain and replacing it with wood pulp and synthesized enzymes, the idea is that we'll have freedom, that we'll have our own assets, and that we'll live fruitful lives. Or is the idea that we enslave an entire civilization, indoctrinate them from their first words into a system of servitude, and make sure that the disease is literally so rampant and so prevalent that they won't even make it to the age of retirement, at which they are no longer useful to the machine of the general economy or the totalitarian good. The McDonald's CEO, looking disgusted while taking a stomach-churning bite of a Big Mac for public media, showed us a lot. And so did the realization that China owns America's largest non-beef food processing unit and food processing plant. Now, the billionaires are interested in either sheltering themselves from the rest of us, the useless eaters, by building deep underground bunkers or entire island retreats, or they're interested in getting the freak off of this planet altogether. It's a problem and solution: fear, loss, or hope for gain. These are core human emotions. Only this time you're the problem and they're the solution. Your breathing has been itemized and demonized by groups that are running the world, because if the work that you put into this great machine of theirs isn't outweighed or outweighing the cost of your carbon exhalation, then what good are you actually to this machine? They will give, and we've seen this, they give illegal immigrants free healthcare and free housing, because they're useful for political change. But when you need to stay healthy or get screening or even get medicine, you're going to have to pay for it. Real control comes from owning the system that everyone else is forced to depend on. And that's where the real power and unimaginable wealth is being built. And the goal appears to be a future where the food we eat is no longer produced independently. It's controlled through patented genetics, manipulation, and technology. We're being pushed into a system that is increasingly centralized and dominated by a small group of powerful corporations who appear to be working alongside authoritarian governments. Food and energy eventually will be managed through one enormous public/private sector, with water likely becoming the next resource that is brought under the same kind of control. I don't know if you remember, but Mr. GATES, he went on and said that over 1 billion people on this planet are going to die because of water source. And then at the centers of this problem is the information center. They may be even serving another purpose altogether they say they're storing information, right? Well, we already stored all of our information, and they say that they're powering artificial intelligence. But what good is that doing us? The power arrangements behind these projects are especially important. Large technology companies can negotiate contracts to guarantee that their facilities will receive a continuous amount of energy while you and me suffer. While they shut off our power at our houses, they'll continue to receive a continuous amount of energy. They've also written it into the bylaws and contracts and verbiage that they will continue to have water because it's a national security interest. It's a national emergency. Now, somehow, and my brother was talking to me, and he said, you know what, maybe we're just looking at the biggest scam we have ever seen. That these technocratic oligarchs have scammed the US government, which is a corporation, we can't forget that. But that they have scanned the corporation of the US government into saying, listen, if you're not the leader in AI and surveillance and data creation and data manipulation, then you're going to be some third world, deepest part of India, worse than the Philippines, nowhere near Cuba style of country. And their goal had one thing in mind. Their goal was to privatize this industrial revolution, technology revolution. And then the goal, once privatized, because the leaders of government, especially at a local level, they have no idea what they're talking about or looking at. So their next goal was, as the technocratic oligarchs control these systems, they're placed into positions of military power. And we see it happening. Who controls the satellite information and data for the US military? Elon Musk. Who controls the systems that much of our military depend on? Mr. Gates. Who controls all of this information? It's private groups. And with that information, we can see that the priority is not to keep American families healthy or comfortable. It's to protect the facilities that have the most valuable contracts and the highest degree of political influence. And what I see happening is exactly what my brother said was going to happen. And here we are. The creation of a two-level society. Working families will absorb high cost and a whole new degree of terrible living conditions. We take on increased pressure on regional water supplies and environmental consequences of these enormous projects. I mean, how can they say that we need to save the world by saving every tree and not letting the cows have any sort of excrement? That's what's going to save the world. And at the exact same time, they're mowing down large swaths of our entire planet to build motherboard-like. And look up, if you've never looked up a motherboard, go Google it and look it up. A motherboard is one large chip with multiple little node chips of processing units on top of it. And they're wiping our entire planet to build the entire world into a motherboard with processing units. We need to stop pretending right now that this whole ordeal is too complicated for us to understand. We need to build our own communities that are aware of what is happening. We can, of course, recognize that we're on a dangerous road with a more dangerous road and path ahead. So we strengthen our own resources and prepare to operate independently, because when the public system finally fails, or when someone decides who receives food and water and who doesn't, the people on the top, the people that are controlling everything, they've already guaranteed that they'll keep getting it.
At Ken Towery's Tire and...
All right. I forgot to sum it up. This stuff is not too complicated for us, folks. I realize we elect our public servants to do all the thinking for us, but maybe we ought to reconsider. I will put the link below. Hold on a second. Let's do the Creator Warp channel. Now, this guy that I just did, okay, Full Spectrum Survival, I am subscribed to him. I recommend you do it. I recommend you do, because it is a lot of information at once, and he does his research. The man knows his stuff. So that being said, anyway, now this guy, I don't know a lot about him. It's Out of the Darkness. Ilhar plan to deport Trump. Isn't that humorous? I do like what he says on this video. Let's keep this going. And then after we get some of this more serious stuff out of the way, we'll go ahead and see some funny stupid like I like to do.
What's up, family? Welcome back to Out of the Darkness. I am Q. So Ilhan Omar wants to see Donald Trump deported. She says, "Get out of our country," she says to Donald Trump. Now, the funny part about it is this isn't her country. It's not your country to throw anyone out of, Ilhan. And at the end of the day, you are an absolute scourge to this nation, and you are here by the grace of the American people. And I hope that that comes to an end very quickly, because she has overstayed her welcome. She has, unfortunately and thank God it's being shown. She has broken our laws. She has given aid to the enemy. She's committed treason, as far as I'm concerned, and therefore her citizenship should be revoked immediately. And I hope as soon as these midterm elections are over, that will happen. So during the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Donald Trump said that Ilhan Omar had married her brother in order to expedite the immigration status for him. Now, the interesting part about this is something we've been talking about since like 2020. I interviewed several Minnesota legislators talking about this before the 2020 election. And it is clear that this is exactly what took place. The documentation is there, but no one wanted to talk about it. But this is what happened. The leftists have been able to use the get rid of Donald Trump and we hate Donald Trump and all of these types of things for so long that they have nothing else to run on. They have no real agenda. Their party has been overtaken by Democratic socialists. And in order to keep their positions, they've had to belly up to these Democratic socialists. And I'll be honest, I love it. I absolutely love it, because we've known that the underbelly of the Democrat Party has been socialist from the start. It really, really has. But they've been able to hide. They've been able to get some good people in front to play cover for them. But at the end of the day, it's truly socialism, communism that they want. And so now they have people that are young enough, that are bold enough to actually come out and say it. They're saying things like they want to abolish the Senate. They want to abolish, destroy the Supreme Court by stacking it. They want to tear down our form of government as it stands. And this is what they're running on. And the vast majority of Americans, even though they might not consider themselves to be conservatives, they hate it. They realize it's a terrible idea. They've seen socialism not work all over the world over the past 200 years, and they realize that this is a failed form of government that will not work and will only destroy this nation. But this insane woman feels that she has the right to tell the president that he's got to go, when she is really and truly a visitor here that should have been gone a long time ago. Let's rehash. This woman took millions, millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars from the American people, turned her back, or even helped, as it would seem, extort money and take money from, embezzle money through the Feeding Our Future program there in Minnesota. People donated money to Ilhan Omar, to her campaign, to help keep that whole project going. So she used her position to embezzle millions and millions of dollars from the American taxpayer, and then turned around and sent a good portion of that money, allegedly, back to war-torn Somalia, a country that is being run by terrorists. So please explain to me how that is not treason. I'll wait. So who should really be leaving the country? You tell me. Let me know what you guys think about this. Comment below. See you guys next time. Be blessed.
No buying expense.
All right. I'm going to have to get this link up. So give me, as soon as I'm done being going live here. Okay. All right. Let's continue. All right. Now, see what Ridiculosity has to say. This is actually pretty good. And it's not very long. Ooh. Oops. My bad. Make this brief. Hold on. There we are. Okay.
A-hole C publicly demonstrated her commitment to idiocy once again by posting the following on X. Tomorrow, the House will vote on the NDAA, which includes a provision to merge parts of our military with the IDF. This amendment is an existential threat to American sovereignty and democracy. Every member of Congress must vote no. Notice with demo commies, everything is an existential threat. The House recently passed its version of the fiscal year 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, allocating $1.1 trillion for our military. It then goes to the Senate. There's a provision in the legislation calling for a closer U.S.-Israel defense integration on a variety of critical issues. But the two countries' militaries will not be combined. A-hole C is a nitwit. Occasional Cortex knows she's supposed to hate Israel for reasons she doesn't understand, and she does.
Hold on, folks. Goku hit into my desk. Gosh darn it. I gotta be careful here. Where is that dumb thing? The heck you think you're doing, dog? Oh, jeez. My coffee almost went on my keyboard. Believe this nonsense.
Are experiencing.
Hold on. Let's go back.
For our military. It then goes to the Senate. There's a provision in the legislation calling for a 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, allocating $1.1 trillion for our military. It then goes to the Senate. There's a provision in the legislation calling for a closer U.S.-Israel defense integration on a variety of critical issues. But the two countries' militaries will not be combined. A-hole C is a nitwit. Occasional Cortex knows she's supposed to hate Israel for reasons she doesn't understand, and so she does. She's like a child who adopts the opinions of her parents as her own. Want proof? Take a look.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that? I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also just I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
So then why do you bring it up? Palestine isn't even a country. It never was. But I doubt this bimbo barmaid knows that. Time and again, Ocasio-Cortez demonstrates her complete lack of understanding of every important issue. And time and again, New Yorkers vote for her and others of her ilk, which means they're at least as ignorant as she is. Democrats and their voters are the real existential threat to our country, so spread the word.
I am told this is a garbage disposal. I've never seen a garbage disposal.
Okay. Am I putting you to sleep? Sorry. Let's play this one. Let's go to the Creator Warp channel. My dog almost made my cup coffee spill on my keyboard, and that would have been all she wrote. Hold on. Oh boy. Okay. Hold on a second. Something's not right here. Oh, here we are. Okay. It's on. There it is. All right.
It's becoming such a horrible and dangerous location that Ilhan Omar, one of my favorites, and her brother are thinking about moving together, very much in love. The video has surfaced recently of Ilhan giving a speech referring to World War II as World War XI. And they asked her about that. She still thought she got it right. But I'm not surprised because she's a low IQ person. And she's also a very dishonest person. And she ought to get the hell out of our country. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number one. Omar is reportedly being investigated for fraud. She revised her net worth. I was shocked to see that she was worth much more than $30 million. And then when the press got on her, she revised it slightly downward to less than 18,000. So she went from much more than 30 million to 18,000. And I know Democrats, and the word Democrat is something that's come into fashion. I changed the E with a U, and most people don't know that dumb has a B, so we don't have to worry about that. It's very quiet. I thought it was quite good, but I haven't gotten much credit for that. Fake news, good. Pocahontas, good. I won't say Lion Ted because he's on my side. I don't talk about past conquests, but we have a lot of them. I won't talk about them. They got a whole table full of Republicans there. They're saying, no, don't mention my frickin' name, will you please? But we've had a lot of good names. But the Democrats are there to destroy wealth. And honestly, they've gone absolutely crazy. Gavin Newsom's not only a man who really wants to run for president, he's doing a bad job running a state. You can't have somebody like a J.B. Pritzker, who I understand is not president, sadly, but, some people say, never use the fat word. And I don't. I would never call anybody fat. I have my own problems. It's not like I'm perfect. Sir, in the back, don't call him a fat pig, okay? I'm sticking up for him. Don't call him you. You can't do that, sir. You can't call J.B. Pritzker a fat pig, please. All right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Everyone's trying to figure out who is that guy? Does he exist? But the nice part is when you do that, the press can't get you because I'm defending a man who obviously has a problem. Actually, he's lost a lot of weight. I saw him recently. He lost quite a bit of weight. I don't know what the hell. He's got no chance, believe me. Anything he does, the family threw him out of the business. A number of other potential Democrat contenders sadly refused to show up tonight. We invited Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. She's referred to Pocahontas because, in fact, I had to apologize. People came up and they said, we want you to apologize to Elizabeth Warren for calling her Pocahontas. And I ended up apologizing to the real Pocahontas. But Elizabeth Warren was supposedly of Indian heritage. And then she took the test and she only had 1,024th Native American. And I said, you know what? I think I'm more of an Indian than she is. So this is what we have to deal with. But Senator Warren did not accept our invitation to debate. I wanted to debate her on various and sundry things, and she decided not to do it. And I decided to bury the hatchet. It doesn't matter. And I'm not going to say this next one. You want to hear this one? How bad? She wasn't high up on her totem pole. Who the hell wrote that? No, she's bad news. I wanted to make sure that Jack Smith, deranged Jack Smith, remember he went after me for about 2 years? How did he do? Not too good. I'm in the White House and he's not doing as well. I was going to say he's in a different kind of a house, but he's a deranged human being. He's a bad prosecutor. Prosecutors are very important. A great prosecutor, a fair prosecutor, but that's the great prosecutors, the ones that are fair. They're very important to a country, but this guy was a deranged lunatic. Saw his invitation tonight. He was invited because, but I put it in a private text to Chuck Grassley. And Chuck saw him and he did a certain thing. And then one man that we had who should be here, he turned Palestinian. This was a man who was 100% for Israel. 100%. Chuck Schumer, crying Chuck. Remember he cried at the airport over illegal immigrants. They were the fakest tears. There were people throwing water in his face. But now he's a proud, very proud Palestinian. In fact, I'm going to send him a beautiful Palestinian outfit tomorrow so he can greet Bibi Netanyahu when he comes to town next week, along with the mayor, who I'm sure would love to meet Bibi. They're not treating Bibi too well, but Chuck wanted to join us tonight, but he didn't want to be violating many parts of the Palestinian rules, regulations, and certainly he didn't want to violate Sharia law, his new founding. And all joking aside, I do think we need term limits in Congress. I think term limits are very important because I see what's happening. The other day, a senator I knew got a text, a great guy, from his wife. And she said, when you get home, I want to have you immediately come up the stairs and make love to me. And he said, I can't do both. You know what? In other words, can't go up the stairs and make love. Does anybody get that? Well, I thought that was actually pretty good. That was actually the only thing I thought was good in this whole freaking stupid speech that they wrote. That was the only good one, and that went down with not exactly great laughter. I think, in other words, you can't go up the stairs and make love too, So we're looking for term limits. Does anybody understand this stuff? But I really do wonder whether the Democrats are trying to lose the midterms. In Maine, they nominated a guy with a Nazi tattoo. But don't worry, Democrats. Word is that Platt, his replacement, he throws bottles at women. This guy throws bottles. This guy's another lunatic, by the way.
Okay. I just want to reemphasize, I'm not standing up for Trump by any stretch. Talking about that, go up the stairs and make love. I'm thinking of, and I'm not recommending this by any stretch, but I'm thinking of the movie Fatal Attraction. Never mind. Hold on. Let me get this. Now let's ask a little bit more humor, stupid humor, by the way. I've already watched these and okay, hold on. Mr. Burgundy. Of course there is, Daniel. No, but I'm thinking, never mind. Just watch. I'm not saying you should or should not watch that old movie from the 80s, Fatal Attraction, but anyway, let's okay. Mr. Burgundy, where are you? Share. Mr. Burgundy. Ah, here we are. Okay.
Group of this.
Well, that is where you are wrong, my friend.
Hey, everybody, it's Saturday all day, as my Nana would say. Very tired from doing my one-woman show here in New York City, but when I got home last night, I watched a review of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I wrote this little song, a parody from The Wizard of Oz for our loving president.
Oh, Jesus, God, no.
Ready? His approval rate is 30. His diaper's always dirty. I think the guy's insane. Da-da-da-da-da-da. He ain't no stable genius, got a teeny tiny, but he doesn't have a brain.
Oh, it's so funny, I forgot to laugh.
The reflecting pool is green. His reasons were obscene. It's him we all do blame. Da-da-da-da-da-da. He grew a magic ear. Stole billions in a year, 'cause he doesn't have a brain.
I have no idea what that means.
Oh, I can't tell you why. Some people think he's smart. All he does is lie and cheat and steal, and he's asleep when meeting starts. He still dreams that he is Putin, while our country he is looting. On humanity, a stain. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Turn that crap off! What's going on?
I want this music out of my head.
All he does is cause us trauma, 'cause he'll never be Obama, 'cause he doesn't have a brain. I hope you enjoy that, Donald. That's for you. A TikTok you don't stop.
You have very serious emotional problems, deep-seated problems for which you should seek professional help.
All right. And back to pole dancer, a whole C.
My urologist told me you are not going to believe.
Hold on.
That may be because Viagra addresses.
Prominent Democrat voices pushing back on the growing influence of the Democratic Socialist candidates they say are ultimately going to hurt the Democrat Party. So let's talk about it with the national co-chair of the Democratic Socialists of America, Megan Romer. Megan, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Shannon.
Le who? The her. Okay, so we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform. And I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate.
True. True.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Okay, replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them.
Yep.
Abolish ICE.
Absolutely.
Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally.
As a long-term plan, yep.
Defund the Pentagon.
Absolutely.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like a communist to me.
There are people who are in the Senate now who are very supportive of DSA. They lose their seats?
The Senate is an anachronistic institution. It comes from the British House of Lords. It is made to protect power for, the Senate was part of the system that was made to make sure that the people didn't have too much of a say.
Blah, 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 blah.
We're getting a look at some early possible frontrunners for the 2028 New Hampshire presidential primary. According to a new Granite State poll, New York rep Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez leads the field for the Dems.
Scares the shit out of me. That I think is tremendously important. The platform calls for abolishing the Senate. Do you agree with that? Abolishing the Senate. Yeah. I'm a House member. We all hate the Senate.
I'm a House member. We all hate the Senate.
Abolish the Senate.
True.
We are in serious trouble, my friends. All data points to us being, how do you humans say it, completely screwed.
Okay. Well. Okay. I think that's about it for the videos, and yeah, I get what you're saying, Daniel, and Trump is getting more evil as time goes on, and he is intelligent. As far as stealing the billions, like Rosie O'Donnell, or I think that was her name. Hold on a second. Yeah. I don't, I think if you had legitimately or validly stole money, like Ilhan's done, and God knows whom, Senator Pencil Dickless, or his name is Adam Schiff of California. He was a congressman before he became a senator. Letitia James is not a politician technically, but she has mortgage fraud, like Adam Shifty boy. And look, I am under no illusions. These people will not be arrested. Somebody from my home state, Ilhan Omar, and that little being a little pedo worshiper, and stolen millions and millions of dollars like that African American pointed out, and I'll be putting up his link. By all means, sub to him. Anyway, now I do have this odd feeling Trump, you know, he is high IQ, he knows how to make money, and he, you know, but his book, The Art of the Deal, I also think, okay, take care, Tex. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, he is. He's a total liar on Trump. But that being said, I mean, the dumbest president we've ever had, to my knowledge, doing my research of presidents before my time, all the way up to, you know, since I was looking at him as a little child on up to the present, Joseph Bernadette Biden Jr., obviously he takes the cake. Probably the second dumbest one I've ever seen is George Walker Bush. Now, when his dad, my former commander-in-chief, George Herbert Walker, was alive, they were commonly known as Junior and Senior. So Junior, I mean, he's the second dumbest that I've ever seen. And I don't understand. When I looked at the IQ ratings, depending on which poll you look at with George Walker Bush, a junior, you know, even though junior isn't on there, some read, polls will read 120. Another one reads 124. And that's low for a president, but I'm still, that's pretty bright. And I just don't picture Junior being that gifted. He's just a victim of good circumstances. That's all he is. And I don't mean spiritually or anything like that. I just, you know, he was born into wealth and power. So anyway, yeah, these are the people helping to run our nation. Isn't that just really comforting? Folks, I really don't have a lot more to say. I mean, it looks like a lot of people are dropping out anyway. So I do hope you share this video, that you thumb it up, get people to subscribe. I want to get this out. I don't care. I haven't made one. Hey, I said, get over here. Goku's being a little turd, even though he's the biggest dog I have today. He's just over 10 months. Kind of a big boob. But anyway, yeah, wasn't he in the CIA at the time, Daniel? I think he was. But that being said, rather than get into all that, maybe I'll do a separate video on it, maybe not. I really don't. I've read a lot of stuff on that, as well as watched some documentaries that are not on YouTube, of course. The Bushes are a powerful dynasty, no two ways about it, but they're not the most powerful. They're not number one by any stretch. And now, did Senior have something to do with that? Possibly, probably. I'm sure he knew, you know, back when he was young, what was going on with John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., but who knows? Yeah, I know he was. Yeah, you're right on that, Craig. I think he was in Dallas that day, wasn't he? I'll have to look again. You guys are bringing stuff up that I've read on so long ago, and I can only do so much, and I have a homestead to run. A lot of you guys know your stuff. Feel free to type it in. Oh, hey, old Path. How you doing, buddy? Welcome. Hopefully you'll sum it up. These are the boobs we have running, because I kind of have a theory, you know, where, okay, I'll take your word for it, Dan, but he, we don't need these people, the so-called really elites, you know, Illuminati and whatever, and Bohemian Grove, Skull and Bones, and Master Masons. I'm the son and grandson of 32nd degree Master Masons. I'm not totally naive. I never became a Mason. I want to make that clear. My grandfather and father, when they were alive, they were 32nd degree Master Masons in New York, right? And they were both Shriners. I don't know about my grandfather, but my dad for a while too was an odd fellow. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of that. But, you know, I've seen a lot of things. And So that being said, we don't need these high up elites. I mean, they're so few in number, but evidently it's scriptural, and they're ruling the world, and to an extent. And this is Hasatan's world. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. I do believe that he's got a certain amount of leeway. He has permission to do things. Lie down. Lie down. Don't even start. Don't try me. Lie down. I said lie down. Lie down. Good boy. You stay right there. Okay, I've never, my grandfather and father were not 33rds. They're 32nd. But anyway, so they were like on the same level as the late Albert Pike, evidently. And you can become a 33rd, evidently, both, whether you're Scottish or York, right? You have to have it offered to you, though, too, by the way. And then, of course, that person has to be willing to accept it or not. So you're getting me into these subjects here, Daniel. Yeah, I stayed away, too. I mean, I was in the lodges as a kid. I was always treated decently. Back then, we didn't have techno. I mean, we had board games, and little kiddie games running around, and eat your meal and you get your dessert, that sort of deal. These people that are going around claiming that they were SA or whatever, some kind of abuse in the lodges. I don't know, maybe they're telling the truth. I know that never happened to me, but it is Luciferian, and it is wrong, and you need to stay away from that stuff. And I never did become a part of it. Praise the Lord. So I just want to make this clear that number wise, we don't need them, folks. I mean, I showed you some stuff that's going on with food again here just a little while back here in this live stream, and we're doing our best to try and become self-sufficient, again, like we used to be in Florida before we were hijacked and that. And Elohim is taking us to where he knows we're ready to be. But that being said, just do what you can. Deb and I are getting some drops and stuff to try and get some of the plastics and metals out of our bodies. There's almost really no way of avoiding it. It's in the air, it's in the ground and stuff. And we're just doing what we can. And I think we're doing a spectacular job thanks to Elohim. But anyway, I don't really want to keep babbling on here. I really do appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, who have made it here and have thumbed it up. Please do share it. Please, maybe recommend to a friend that you subscribe. I do my best to give full credit and put links in, okay, to the other channels and that. And I do make sure you see the articles that I read to you, that, you can look them up, read them yourselves, and other articles on the same subjects. So I just do the best I can. All right, folks. Keep your heads on your swivels, all right? Stay on guard. Trust Elohim to get you through all things. Peace, shalom, and until the next time, the Levite man is out of here. Later.